Hello! So you're going to need a blank photo album. This is from Paperchase. I love it. Some photographs ready to go in the photo album. We got these from a photographer, quite lucky. Very pleased to finally get around to putting them into an album. You also might need some photo corners. Again, these are from Paperchase. I did have some lovely mustache washi tape. Didn't actually use it in the end, but nice idea. And the scissors, they're for the washi tape. Didn't get used, but look how sharp they are. I also saved 2 invites from our wedding. I decided to add these to the album, just, for future. I thought they'd be quite nice. So let's get started. So, time to sort out the photographs. I've had them for a year, time to put them in some sort of order. I decided to try and arrange them into segments from the day. So, images from the church, they would all go together. Images from the reception, also they'd go together. Any pose photographs, I thought they would be best to go together too. Can you see a theme? It should be noted at this point, you should definitely spend some time looking at the photographs and reminiscing, enjoying good memories, smiling a lot. So now time to put them in some sort of time order. I knew I wanted to end with a kiss as we walked down the aisle, so I kind of worked backwards, but from the start. That makes sense, right? So starting with my daddy standing outside, to walking down the aisle, to getting to the altar and, shaking hands, it would seem at one point, but really it's just my daddy handing me away. And then I faffed a bit more and put in the smiley ones, smiled some more, rearranged them a wee bit more. You get the idea. I then repeated this for each of these sections I'd put together. I thought it's best to get this done now before you put them into the album, and then you aren't happy with the order they're in. So I did a wee bit of faffing at this point just so I'd be happy with the end result. Okay, we're down to the last photos. All happy. Let's move on. So I'm taking the wedding invites that I had saved, and it would seem I actually used one from the evening wedding reception, but I realised that before the end, so don't worry, I fix it. And once I've managed to figure out how to open the sheets so I can actually get onto that top sheet to put in the invitation, I decided to start placing things. So I want to see how it fits on the page, if it looks good. And then, place the next one just to make sure. It's good to have a wee bit of a faff at this point, as I said. Now to start sticking things in place. Those corners are so fiddly, I cannot explain. I thought it best to start by placing one of the corners onto the corner of the invitation. I'm not sure this was the best plan to start with. Actually, I can definitely confess that it was not the best plan. But we're going to learn together. However, I think it is a good idea to place them diagonally so you can actually get a good feel for how it looks, make sure it's nice and even, and everything is in the right place. A useful tip for placing your items, use a ruler. You can see then where it sits top and bottom, make sure you're getting it centered. I generally eyeball it and then just confirm with the ruler, and I'm generally pretty spot on at this point. So, I think I might have an eye for this, but if you're worried about it, definitely measure and make sure you're happy with it before you start placing things. Also, for future, this is something I forgot to show. When you're sticking your photographs in, put the ruler over your photograph, measure where it's supposed to be, leave the ruler on top of it, just maybe place a finger there to make sure everything stays in place while you get your corners sorted, and then you can definitely be sure it's going to stay in place. So that's the finished album. I think you get the general idea. I'm just going to give you a bit of a flick through. I've left a blank space because I realised I've forgotten a photograph, so we'll sort that out at some point. But this is my homemade photo album. I am so delighted with the results. I preferred the nice clean look of it, that's why I didn't use the washi tape. However, if you wanted to add a bit more character, you could use the washi tape on the corner of your images, or maybe along the top or bottom of the pages. I just like the nice clean look. I'm a bit odd like that maybe. And that is it. An idea for a guest book. Absolutely brilliant. Use an instant camera and see if you can persuade a friend, family member, whoever it might be, to have them go around taking pictures of your guests, and go around with some blank paper and some pens and get them to leave you a wee note. This was just the nicest thing to read through after a few weeks when my sister-in-law was so good to do this. And it was just the nicest thing for us to sit and read through and have a bit of a chuckle, and she captured some absolutely brilliant moments. So it was so sweet, and it's so personal, and it's just so much fun. Really is. Would really recommend it. So those are my ideas for your own wedding album and possible guest book at your wedding. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, please subscribe. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see you next time.